Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Monday, April the 3rd, 2017. It is the first trading day of the month. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We do create four main hypotheses in order to have a plan in place for whatever the market throws at us. We do not know what the market's going to do. We can only have a plan in place and let us show it what plan is going to best suit the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to in the pre-market. We do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. The trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at the news. We do have news today at 9:30 on the open. We have Canadian manufacturing PMI. Then we've got 9:45 final manufacturing PMI, and then of course the big one would be the ISM manufacturing PMI, construction spending, and manufacturing prices. We do have 10:30. We have Bank of Canada Business Outlook Survey. We have two Fed members speaking today. One at 10:30, Dudley, and one at 3 o'clock, Harker. And then we've got, during the course of the day, we've got total vehicle sales month over month. This is a fairly decent news week this week. Tomorrow, 8:30, we've got trade balance coming out of Canada and U.S. At 10 o'clock, we've got factory orders and IBD tip economic. And then another Fed member speaking just as the market closes. And then Wednesday will be the big one, and that will be the ISM non-manufacturing, ADP non-farm employment change, and of course the FOMC meeting minutes will be out there as well. Thursday, we have unemployment claims would be the big one, and then Friday, we've got a lot of news coming out. We've got the non-farm employment change, the unemployment rate, both Canada and U.S., and the average hourly earnings, and then IV PMI and final wholesale. So lots of news this week. So just be aware of when the news is coming out. Taking a look at what happened on Friday, and I have to apologize. I have a nasty cough that I just can't seem to get rid of right now. So if I continue to hack and cough, I apologize ahead of time. Friday was the last day of the quarter, the last day of the month, last day of the week. We are expecting a rotational day, and basically that's exactly what we got. We did basically come out within the balance area of around the microcomposite VPOC, which is currently at 59.50. Very boxy looking profile, but that's typical of a quarter end where you get a lot of positioning and a lot of maneuvering into that final close of the quarter. Taking a look at the macro to micro. I always like to start my day with a simple candlestick chart. I use a 9 EMA, 20 SMA on all my charts. This is a 50. I just added this over the weekend. I was just doing some study on the dailies. But what I'm looking for is slope of separation, the strength of the trend where the trend's being challenged or violated, continuation patterns, chart patterns, and candlestick patterns. And I start with a monthly and work my way down. That way I have an idea of where we are within all the different time frames, and I'm not closing my mind and diminishing my field of vision to a simple short time frame mentality. Monthly trend was beautiful over the course of several years. Then at the end of 15, beginning of 16, they challenged it, then took it back and we've had this very strong push up. Third month in, March, basically is a bit of a doji. We did close about 4 points down off of the open of the month, so we had our first bearish month of 2017, and currently we're sitting right in this balance. But the trend overall on the monthly is up and does not even get challenged until we get into 2260 area. Going to the weekly, we did come down and close this technical gap, and we've bounced so far. We've challenged the trend, but we have not violated, and we are holding above the 2344. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So the trend is intact on the weekly, but has been being challenged. On the daily, we did break down below, but now we're coming back up, and we're right at a decision point. Excuse me. We're right at a decision point in between the 9 and the 20, sideways consolidation. Possible cup and handle, but still early on in its development. Excuse me, you got. As we move down to the 4 hour, you can see again we're challenging the trend, but we are in basically consolidation mode right now on the 4 hour. On the 1 hour, you can see that we are breaking down below the 9 and the 20, seeing a little bit of weakness. But again, this is sideways consolidation. Going to the 30-minute, you see again we're below the 9 and the 20, but again this is more sideways to slightly negative consolidation. 15-minute, same thing. We are trying to get back above the 9 right now, but we do have a bit of a downward trend, but we're losing some slope and separation to the downside. And then on the 5-minute, we are just bouncing back and forth across across the moving averages. We do have a naked cross above us up here at 2360.75. Taking a look at the big picture, you can see that we're right back in this balance area here that is centered around the 2359. Actually, I don't know how this happened, but I've got to move this. This is going to be moved over. There we go. So our balance is still 2359.50. We've got a little bit of a smaller distribution zone where it was clear that the sellers were stepping in at the 2364.50 on Thursday and Friday, and we do have a week high here at 66.75, but so far we've been able to get and hold above it for continuation up into this next distribution zone, which will be in around the 77.75. Key line to watch today is going to be the 2348.50. We'll get below that, looking for 45, and then move back down into the 40. You can see we've got clear distribution zone that basically is separated by that 48.50. If you look at the market profile, you can see that we have overlapping value here on Thursday and Friday. The POCs are basically sitting on top of each other, and we have a weak high right here with the double top. There's no excess tail like we had on Thursday. So this is an incompleted auction. We do have a single that is still left from that Thursday breakdown, the significant breakout candle up at 73.50. So let's take a look at the overnight. Overnight inventory is pretty much neutral to net positive. You can see that we got very, very strong balance right around that 2360 area, and really, finding price acceptance. We're going to break from here. We just don't know if that break's going to be up or down. With the poor high, I would think that the break is likely going to be to the upside, but the market can do things that you don't expect it at any time, so just be aware of that. Taking a look at the overnight, our overnight high is 63 and a quarter. Our overnight low is 56. So pretty tight range overnight. We're inside of the prior we're inside the prior day range, but we're just outside of value. Value area low is at 60 and a quarter. The ATR, the 20 period full session ATR, is running at 1680, so off of the high overnight. Our downside daily ATR target is 4650. Our upside daily ATR target is 7275. Our weekly upside ATR, the weekly ATR dropped, over the 20 period weekly ATR is now down at 35.41. It was in around 40. It dropped. We took out that 1 week that we had 152 point range on the election, so that's now gone, and our weekly ATR is tightened up. At the upside, weekly ATR is up at 91.50 currently, and the downside is all the way down at the 27.75. In terms of levels, obviously I'm going to be watching the range low here at 57.75. I'm watching the value area high. I'm expecting them to chop through the value area low this morning, so I can't really use that to lean against. We're right here in around that balance at the 59.50. Below us we have the 54. So below the range on Friday, I'm targeting the overnight low and looking for a push down to that low on Thursday at 54. And then below 54, we've got the 48.50. With the, with the target in between at the 51.50 area. And then below 48, 46.50, and then the next big destination, the big target below, is still going to be down here in the 40, 75, 41 area, and 39, this lower distribution. There is an intermediate target at 45. And that's really all we need for the downside today. And then on the upside, of course, we've got the break above the 65 to push through to break this week high at 66.75, and then above that, I'm targeting the 67.75. You can actually use 68, and then a little bit of resistance at 70.50. And then we've got the FOMC number at 71 and a quarter. But the next big one above that is going to be that 77.75. So I'm not expecting too much more than that today. It is the first day of the month, so there will be some positioning going on with the funds. Currently trading, right in the center of the Keltner with no slope or no slope on the Keltner. So really sideways consolidation and seeing some really strong kurtosis around the Globex VPOC, which is currently right now sitting at 60. So in terms of the hypothesis, because we've got that weak high at 66.75, I'm looking for an open auction in range, a push down, either a false breakout or a breakout down to the 56 to 54 level, finding responsive buyers and rotating us back up into value, chopping inside of value and pushing through and getting a late day probe above the range high at 66, targeting that 68. I'm not looking for a lot today in terms of range. In Hypo 2, I'm looking at an open auction in range or just inside of value, looking for sideways chop on the open, testing both the value area high and the value area low, and then failing to break out of the 66.75 or a false breakout, and then getting responsive sellers stepping in and coming down, and just basically having a engulfing day around between the 68 and the 56, 54 area, and just basically going sideways, but engulfing the full range of Friday. Hypo 3 is an open auction in range, failure to break above value, finding strong responsive sellers stepping in and pushing us down and breaking below this 54 and pushing down towards the 48 area and closing somewhere down here between the 48 and the 41. And just testing the bottom of this distribution zone one more time. And then Hypo 4 is an open auction in range, failure to get below 56.25, strong buying coming in, chopping around the high of the Friday and then pushing up through and coming up into the 72-75 area and closing somewhere in the 70s in the upper part of that distribution. Those are my four main hypotheses for ES. Gold continues to find balance in around the 1250 area. We're just chopping in this distribution. We do have move this in, hold on. We do have a shorter time frame VPOC here at the 1253 area. The longer time frame, the balance overall in this area is 51. We're currently trading at 48.70, right around this CHVN at the 48.30 area. Key level to watch is the 45.80. If we get below that, look for them to test the lower side of balance down at the 44 area. And if that doesn't hold, look for them to push through down to the other side of that distribution at 39.10. If we just stay in here, I'm expecting rotation and chop between the 53 and the 48. If we can come up and accept this 53, look for them to push up into the 56 area. That's the upper side of the value, and if they can get through that, a shot to 59 and 60 would be what I'd be looking for, and continuation up in gold. But I expect gold to remain rather choppy today as we move into the beginning of the month. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.